Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today on Hangin with Harv, we've got a couple real small welding jobs to do. What I hope you'll see is having a small welder around the house is a very useful tool to have. But having a welder, we can take something like this and save it from going to the garbage dump, whatever you want to call it, right? So let's get started. We got to figure out what we're going to do on this bed frame here. Got to get this reattached here, and the bed sits on top of this, so I don't want a big weld up here. We'll put a weld there first. All right, let me grind a little spot there so we can tack that. One of the other things you always want to do is you always want to put a little bit of a bevel where you're going to weld, so that you have a little bit of a space that you can fill in. Now, because this metal is a little thinner than what I've been welding on, I am going to turn this down heat-wise just a little bit. Okay, while we let that bed frame cool a little bit so I can grind and continue welding, I'm going to turn my attention to this guy here. Okay, now it looks tacked straight to me, and my thought was just to take some of this scrap steel, and to help brace that, I'll just tack that in here somewhere. I don't know, maybe I'll do it here. I'll tack this in here maybe. Just scratch that paint off there right quick. Right quick, I like. Yeah, we're gonna do that right quick, see? Yeah, right quick. It's just melting away. It's too thin. I need to put another piece here, I think. It's just a work stool. You don't have to look pretty. Might have burnt a hole through it, but that's all right. Let's see. Oh yeah, it doesn't. Yeah, it's much solid. More solid now than it was, that's for sure. I still want to put another piece across the back. Let's figure that out here real quick. Now that this has had plenty of time to cool, grab the old flap disc here, and all we have to do now is just kind of flatten that out a little bit. Again, it doesn't have to be real pretty, it just needs to be smooth so that we don't end up snagging that on something when we put the bed, mattress and things back on. This is just a piece of scrap. I had a hole in it. I probably cut this off because whatever it was too long, and just enough to strengthen this joint here. It would help if you had ground on there, right? Doofus. I know. Shut up, man. Shut up. And then this piece here, my grandiose plan was to basically bring this, to help strengthen this, was to basically come in here and kind of tack that in there. As you didn't see it, but this was actually bowed quite severely, and I pushed it back. Probably happened when the kids were jumping on the bed. You tell them all the time, it's not a trampoline. Stop jumping on the furniture. All that stuff that your parents told you and you ignored too. All right, well, I think that's what we're gonna do next. We're gonna weld this piece on here. This is fun stuff. Always something here, isn't it? Not a very efficient setup I got, but hey, one day we'll have our metal working shack on the back end of my garage built. All right, now let's get this side tacked. Okie dokie dookie. Okie dokie dude. Alrighty there, bub. Dip our tip in a little of this here jelly. A little jelly. Get a little jelly on there. Ooh, look at that jelly. Jelly. That's supposed to help no splatter there, see? You don't want no splatter in there. This here's called nozzle gel. Nozzle jelly. I'll just get a wire brush and we'll just clean a little bit of this up. You know, it doesn't have to be perfect, folks. You know, we're not welding commercially. We're doing it for our homes, right? For utility. At least that's my opinion. You know, some people want everything to be perfect. I get that. You know, I tend to be a bit on the perfectionist side, but sometimes you just got to go, it's good enough. So we're going to call that good enough. Good enough, baby. That's what I'm shouting. That's what I'm shouting. Let's get a little flat black paint. Call it done, baby. A little bit of paint, man. Flat black right there. That's what I got. Flat black or green, that's your choice. Das ist your Scheiße. A little bit of flat black paint and a crappy little weld job turns into, oh, that doesn't look too bad. Good enough. That's what Harv always says. Good enough. We will let this dry, then we'll take it back in, we'll reassemble it, and we saved ourselves a lot of money today. Instead of going out and trying to buy a whole new bed or bed frame, we were able to save the bed frame that we had, a little bit of scrap metal that I had laying around, and a welder. That's all it took. I'm gonna set this aside and let it dry. Well, all right, that's gonna wrap it up for another episode of Hangin' with Harv. I'm hoping today you were able to see how we took a MIG welder, just a small 110 volt MIG welder, and we're able to tack on a few pieces that, you know, this metal you can pick up at your home centers, and you know, we were able to save this chair and this bed frame from the garbage dump. Got a little more life out of it, saved ourselves some money in the process. And with that, thanks for hanging with Harv. All right, now it's time to get a beer. Let's go.